Good morning. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Sunday, April 15th. We've got the Dow 15-minute chart here, and you can see we had a little bit of a retrace on Friday. Not unexpected, as I mentioned in the Thursday video. You know, we had a nice little bounce over Wednesday and Thursday, and we were getting up to that 13K level, so some sort of retrace, a step back to see whether we were going to break higher or not was going to happen was inevitable, and that's what we saw on Friday. Kind of accelerated into the close, more probably a reason of traders just not wanting to hold stuff into the weekend. Those kind of really late, fast dips in the market tend to bode well for the next session, especially over a weekend when there is no bad news. We had news come out this weekend that China is increasing the float on the yuan, and that is being viewed as bullish. So that could be the excuse for a Monday morning bounce. The indicators on the 15-minute chart look fine. You know, we've got stochastics down at the 20 level, RSI down at the 30 level. So, you know, unless Europe sinks into the sea over the next several hours, we should be looking at a bounce back tomorrow. As you can see, support on this, a bullish falling wedge, just around 12,800 or thereabouts. The breakout continues to be that 13K level. We are also, as you can see here on the red circle, looking for a golden cross on the 15-minute chart. Possibility of that happening tomorrow, but more than likely coming on Tuesday. And remember, over the last several years on the 15-minute chart, when we get a golden cross, that is the 50-day moving average through the 200-day moving average, we average about 150 point pop. So that's what we're going to be looking for. Daily chart. You can see the downtrend resistance right now, all the moving averages, essentially 13K is resistance. We need to get back above that level to continue our uptrend. Now, the level we are going to be watching really, really closely over the next couple of days is the lows from last week, that 12,700 level. If we lose the 12,700 level, we are going to be going to an almost all cash stance and essentially just be looking to trade whatever action there is intraday, because on the Dow chart, we would be potentially looking at a retrace back to the 200-day moving average down there in the 12,100 to 200 area, the December bounce high and the 200-day moving average. So if we do fail to hold this level, that is the next area we are going to be looking at. Not saying that's going to happen. I think the little retrace we had on Friday was needed. You know, we touched the 50-day moving average. We came back. Let's see what happens tomorrow if we make another attempt at breaking that level. Russell chart, almost identical to all the other indice charts. As you can see, the 810 level is the breakout on small caps. And again, just like small caps, 780 lows of last week is the level we're going to be looking at. Otherwise, we could see a dip down to that 200-day moving average. Granted, it's a lot closer on the Russell than it is on the other indices. As for stock plays, let's start off with the negative. NEI. I would say I'm pretty much done with this stock. After trading it so many times over the last couple of years, that the Friday action on news, pretty much typical. The exact same news that NEI released last year at this time from the exact same company. They came out and they said EMC is going to look to transition away in the next year. Not for another year, just like they did back in. Stock decimated in pre-market, down 30%, just like it was the last time. Funny thing is, over the next several months, the stock was able to recover because EMC did not cut as much as they said, and they picked up more contracts. The same will probably happen here again, but this is a stock you just can't trust it to be long overnight. I might trade it intraday, but as far as holding this stock overnight, I think I'm pretty much done with it. You know, drops like this on news, you can't even get out with stops. I mean, they just gap them down 30%, and that's just that. Although I will say the poor trading action in NEI over the last few days, which we attributed to the weak market, looks like someone got leaked the news, just like they always are. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But let's flip to the positive. RENN Monster. Over the last 5 days from our symmetrical triangle breakout, another picture perfect symmetrical triangle breakout. Just like our Amazon play of last month, this one worked out perfectly. We got the triangle breakout at 550. Remember, I said we take the height of the triangle, $2, add it to the breakout level, and that gives you the target of 750. We hit 747 going into the close on Friday for a 40% gain almost over the last week. Absolutely picture perfect. At this stage, you should have booked at least 3/4 gains on this one and look to revisit it if it dips. I would be trailing my stops now probably to the 675 to 7 plus area on that remaining position, and even if we get taken out on a downside move with those stops, that still ends up being a 30% win. Guarantee the win. Make sure you book the gains and place this in your notes. I mean, this one exactly like Amazon. Exactly. Here's the Amazon chart. Exactly like our Amazon call of last month. Our target was 210. It hit 209.85, and as you can see, came all the way back down. And you got taken out on the retrace on stops. So that is why I say be sure to book at least 3/4 gains. Trail your stops higher. I know Facebook is still coming, and this one may still have a lot more momentum, but this is how we trade. We trade with a plan. Our plan was 750. 750 hit. You book your gains, you leave a little piece to play with, and you trail your stops higher. That is how you play these. As for some other Facebook plays, PLPE, I rarely, if ever, play over-the-counter stocks, but we jumped into this one on Thursday. Nice breakout move on it. We're looking for 15 to 24 cents here. It's over-the-counter. You can use charts to help you with these, but oftentimes these trade with a mind of their own. This stock, this time last year when the Facebook hype hit, was trading at 75 cents to $1. So if this one gets crazy and it starts to get some promotions, it could be some very nice upside. But, you know, nice little gamble play on the OTC here with a nice little breakout play. Let's see how it goes over the next few days. Web Methods looked like it was going to break out. Came so close on Friday. Love the chart setup here. A lot of weak hands in it, but we are looking at a positive MACD cross. Stochastics look very attractive here, and this 110 break and 140 should come very, very quickly on this stock. They own a lot of Facebook-related websites, especially with Facebook news heating up here right now. You're going to start to see traders really look for sympathy plays, and I think this one could be good to go. Social media plays will likely be the focus tomorrow, given the after-hours move on VRNG. What sucks is, I said in the chat room on Friday we were going to be playing this one on Monday. So what happens Friday after hours? Stock is up at 350, 360 on news that Mark Cuban picked up 1 million shares. So this one is going to be on watch as well for a flag breakout on Monday. I know some of you guys are still riding this one from way down here. Congratulations. Tomorrow is going to be a very good day for you. Those of you not in it that don't feel like chasing, we're going to have a lot of sympathy plays off of this, so that's how we'll approach it going into tomorrow's session. Quick mention on ALXA. This one got a nice little spike on Friday, broke through our 65 cent level on pretty heavy volume. That D-bag BioBasher kind of said positive things on the stock. I won't even say his name just because he's a D-bag, but after the initial pop, sellers came in, but it held the breakout very, very well. The FDA is set to announce on their drug in about 3 weeks, and this is typically the time frame when these start to run. Our recent example was BPAX, ended up running back in January when it was going into its FDA meeting. If we pull up the chart back then, had the big sell-off, and then essentially doubled in the 3 weeks going into their actual FDA meeting. So let's see if we can have the same thing happen again on ALXA. And the panel meeting wasn't as bad for ALXA as it was for BPAX, and BPAX ended up getting approval. So I would say odds are more in favor of approval than not on this one, and this one could have a nice little run over the next couple of weeks with an obvious magnet up here of the 200-day moving average up there at the 1 level. So that's the area we're going to be looking at for this one. That's it for the video. Let's see how tomorrow goes. We've got some positive news out there, and that late day sell-off that should boost us early tomorrow. This is also a big earnings report week. A lot of the biggies are coming out this week. Banks, Intel, J&J. If we start to get some positive earnings, especially after recent retrace in the market, we could see a nice little pop. That was sort of what happened back in 2009 and 2010. We would have a nice rally. We would sell off right before the earnings report. And this was actually typical in 2009. And then the earnings reports would come out and the market would rocket back higher. Then we would retrace into the next earnings report. Earnings reports would come out. We'd rocket higher. So let's see if that is the case this time. And we end up having a very nice May. So that's it for the video. If you've got any questions, just shoot me an email, feedback@buysellshort.com or .net. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Goodbye.